Deep in the whispering woods, where tall oak trees stretched toward the stars and soft moss covered the forest floor, there lived a small firefly named Flicker. Flicker was different from the other fireflies. While they all glowed bright and golden, Flicker's light was softer, a gentle, pale yellow glow that seemed almost shy. The other fireflies would dance high in the sky, their lights twinkling like stars. But Flicker preferred to fly low, near the forest floor, lighting the way for the small creatures who lived below. "Why do you fly so low?" the other fireflies would ask. "Come dance with us in the treetops." But Flicker would smile gently and say, "I think I'm meant to shine down here, where the shadows are deepest." He didn't know yet just how important his gentle glow would be. One summer evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of purple and pink, Flicker heard something unusual. Soft crying sounds were coming from deep in the forest. Flicker's tiny light pulsed with concern. Someone was lost. Someone was scared. He flew toward the sound, his gentle glow lighting his path through the darkening woods. There, in a small clearing surrounded by tall bramble bushes and twisted roots, stood a young fawn. She was small and delicate, with soft brown fur covered with white spots that looked like fallen snow. Her large, dark eyes were filled with tears that sparkled in the fading light. "Hello," Flicker said gently, hovering near her nose. "Are you all right?" The fawn jumped slightly, startled by the small glowing light, but when she saw Flicker's kind face and gentle glow, she relaxed a little. "I'm lost," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I was following a butterfly through the forest, and I wandered too far from my mother. Now I can't find my way home, and it's getting so dark." She looked up at the sky, where the last light of day was disappearing. "I'm scared of the dark." Flicker's heart ached for the frightened fawn. He remembered being small and scared too, when his light first began to glow and he worried it wasn't bright enough. "Don't be afraid," Flicker said warmly. "I may be small, but my light can guide you. I'll help you find your way home." The fawn's ears perked up with hope. "Really? You'll help me?" "Of course," Flicker said, his glow brightening just a little with determination. "That's what lights are for, to shine in the darkness and help others find their way." The fawn managed a small, grateful smile. "My name is Dawn. What's your name?" "I'm Flicker," he said, doing a little loop in the air. "And together, we're going to get you home." Dawn stood up on her wobbly legs, feeling braver already. "Thank you, Flicker. I don't know what I would do without you." "You'll never have to find out," promised Flicker. "Now tell me, do you remember anything about where you came from? Any landmarks or sounds?" Dawn thought carefully. "I remember a stream. I could hear water running, and there was a big rock that looked like a sleeping bear." Flicker's antennae twitched thoughtfully. "I know that rock, the Sleeping Bear Stone. It's not far from here. Follow my light and I'll take you there." Night had fallen completely now. The forest was dark, filled with shadows and unfamiliar sounds. Dawn's legs trembled as she heard an owl hoot in the distance and leaves rustle in the breeze. "It's so dark," she whispered. "That's okay," Flicker said gently, flying just ahead of her nose where she could see him clearly. "Darkness isn't bad. It just means the world is resting. And besides, you have me. I'll be your light." Flicker's soft yellow glow lit the path in front of Dawn, showing her where to step safely. He was careful to fly low and slow, making sure she could follow. They walked together through the forest, leading Flicker the way. His gentle light revealed the path, showing Dawn where the roots crossed the trail, where puddles waited, where the safest way forward lay. "You have a beautiful glow," Dawn said as they walked. "It's so warm and gentle. It makes me feel safe." Flicker felt his light brighten with pride and happiness. No one had ever said that before. The other fireflies always talked about being bright and flashy, but Dawn liked his gentle glow. "Thank you," Flicker said. "I used to worry that my light wasn't bright enough, but now I think maybe it's exactly as bright as it needs to be." They walked on together through the peaceful night, a small firefly and a lost fawn, both carrying light within them. Soon they came to a place where the forest path dropped away into a small ravine. Steep sides covered with loose stones and tangled vines led down into darkness. At the bottom, Dawn could barely make out the glimmer of water. "We have to cross," Flicker said. "The stream, you remember, is just on the other side." Dawn looked down nervously. The slope was steep and dark. "I'm scared I'll fall." "You won't fall," Flicker assured her. "I'll light every step for you. Just watch my glow and follow exactly where I fly." Flicker flew down slowly, his light revealing safe footholds on the rocky slope. "Put your hoof here," he said, illuminating a flat stone. Dawn carefully placed her hoof where Flicker showed her. "Now here." Flicker moved lower, illuminating another safe spot.
Solid and safe.
Step
Place
by
your hoof
step,
here.
Flicker guided Dawn down the ravine. His light showed her where the ground was solid, where roots could give her support, where stones might slip. Dawn's heart pounded, but she trusted Flicker completely. Wherever his gentle glow shone, she stepped. Finally, they reached the bottom safely. "You did it," Flicker said proudly. Dawn nuzzled him gently with her nose. "Only because of your light." They heard the babbling stream nearby. They were getting closer to home. To reach the stream, they had to pass through a natural tunnel formed by bramble bushes that had grown together overhead. Flicker flew into the tunnel first to check it was safe. His light illuminated thousands of tiny thorns waiting to catch fur and skin. "This looks difficult," Flicker said. "The thorns are thick, but I can see a safe path through the middle if we're careful." "I trust you," Dawn said bravely. Flicker flew ahead, his light creating a glowing tunnel of safety through the dangerous brambles. "Duck your head here," instructed Flicker as a low branch appeared. "Step to the left, thorns on the right," he warned. "Careful, low vines ahead," he cautioned. Dawn followed Flicker's every direction, and though branches scraped close and thorns reached towards her, she passed through without a scratch. When they emerged on the other side, they heard it, the cheerful sound of running water. "The stream!" Dawn's ears perked up with joy. "We found it!" They reached the stream, its water sparkling with reflected moonlight. Across the stream stood the sleeping bear stone, exactly as Dawn remembered it. "I know where I am now," Dawn said excitedly. "My home is just beyond that stone. Oh, Flicker, we're almost there." But Flicker's glow was growing dimmer. He had been shining steadily for so long, using all his energy to light Dawn's path, that he was growing tired. Fireflies need to rest their light, just like anyone needs to rest their body, and Flicker had given everything he had to help Dawn. "Flicker?" Dawn noticed his fading glow with concern. "Are you all right?"
Are you all right?
"I'm just a little tired," Flicker admitted, his light flickering weakly. "But we're almost there. I can make it." "You've done so much for me," Dawn said, her voice full of worry and gratitude. "You've used all your light to help me. What can I do to help you?" Flicker smiled, even though his light was now barely a spark. "Just keep going. You're almost home. That's all the help I need." But Dawn shook her head. "No, you've shared your light with me all night. Now it's my turn to help you." Dawn very gently, very carefully lifted Flicker with her soft muzzle and placed him carefully on her back, right between her shoulders where her fur was softest and warmest. "Rest now," she said tenderly. "Let me carry you the rest of the way. You've been my light. Now let me be your strength." Flicker nestled into Dawn's warm fur, feeling safe and cared for. His light faded to the tiniest spark as he rested. Dawn waded carefully through the shallow water, the cool water splashing around her legs. She walked past the sleeping bear stone, following the familiar path she knew by heart, now that she could see where she was. As they walked, Flicker's light slowly, gently began to return. The rest and Dawn's warmth were helping him recover. "Thank you," Flicker whispered. "Thank you," Dawn whispered back. "You gave me your light when I had none."
The firefly gave me light when I had none. It taught me about a deep lesson from that experience.
As they walked over a small hill, Dawn suddenly stopped and her ears shot forward. "Mama!" she called out. In the distance, by a large oak tree, stood a full-grown doe. Her head lifted at Dawn's voice, and she began running toward them. "Dawn, my Dawn!" the mother deer called, her voice filled with relief and joy. Dawn ran forward on her still wobbly legs, and mother and daughter reunited in a tender nuzzle. "I was so worried," Dawn's mother said, checking her daughter all over to make sure she was safe. "When you didn't come home at twilight, I searched everywhere." "I got lost, Mama," Dawn explained, "but Flicker found me. He lit the way home with his glow." Dawn's mother looked at the small firefly, who now glowed with renewed strength from his rest.
"Thank you,
"You
little
brought
one,
my daughter
for
home
bringing my
safely,"
daughter home
she
safe."
said, her large eyes warm with gratitude. "Thank you, little one. How can I ever repay you?" Flicker flew up from Dawn's back, his light now strong and steady again. "I don't need repayment," Flicker said warmly. "I learned something tonight, too. I always thought my light was too dim, not bright enough. The other fireflies dance high in the treetops with their bold, bright glows, and I felt small." He looked at Dawn with affection. "But tonight, I learned that my gentle glow is exactly what it needs to be. It doesn't need to light up the whole sky. It just needs to light the path for one friend who's lost." Dawn's mother nodded wisely. The brightest lights aren't always the ones that shine the most boldly. Sometimes the most important lights are the ones that shine with gentleness and kindness. "And Flicker," Dawn added, "you didn't just share your glow, you shared your heart. That's what really lit my way." Flicker felt his light shine brighter than ever, but not from trying to be flashy or bold. It shone from pure happiness and the knowledge that he had helped someone who needed him. "I should go now," Flicker said, "but I'll visit often. This part of the forest is beautiful." "Please do," Dawn's mother said. "You'll always be welcome here. You're part of our family now." Dawn smiled. "Will I see you tomorrow night?" "Every night," Flicker promised. "I'll be here, lighting the forest floor, making sure no one gets lost." From that night on, Flicker flew through the whispering woods with a new sense of purpose. He still flew low, close to the forest floor, but now he knew exactly why. He was meant to help those who walked the shadowy paths, to light the path for the lost, to share his glow with anyone who needed it. And every evening, as the sun set and the forest grew dark, Flicker would visit Dawn and her mother by the great oak tree. Sometimes Dawn would tell him stories about her day, the butterflies she'd chased but not too far, the flowers she'd found, the other young deer she'd played with. Sometimes they would walk together through the forest, Dawn no longer afraid of the dark because she knew that Flicker's gentle glow would always be there. And sometimes they would simply sit together in comfortable silence, watching the stars come out, a firefly and a fawn, the best of friends. The other fireflies still danced high in the treetops, their bright glows flashing like shooting stars. But Flicker was happy flying low, where his gentle glow was needed most. Because he had learned the most important lesson of all. It doesn't matter how bright your light shines. What matters is that you share it with kindness and use it to help others find their way. And so, if you ever find yourself walking through the whispering woods on a summer evening, look down near the forest floor. You might see a gentle yellow glow, soft and warm, lighting the way for the small creatures below. That's Flicker, sharing his light. And if you're very lucky, you might see a young fawn with spots like fallen snow walking beside him, two friends who found each other in the darkness and lit each other's way. Because that's what friends do. They share their light when darkness falls, and they shine together to make the world a little brighter. Sweet dreams, little ones. Remember, your light, no matter how gentle, is exactly bright enough to help someone who's lost. And you are never alone in the darkness. There's always a friend whose glow will guide you home. Good night.